multiple things can be true at once. I went to UNRWA schools. I ate from UNRWA food. My dad was a physician for UNRWA. Like, without UNRWA, the humanitarian suffering that Palestinians would have experienced, both not just in Gaza and the West Bank, but also in Syria and Jordan and Lebanon, would have been epically worse than it is today. Furthermore, in the territories, Israel would have had to shield a lot more responsibility for the well-being of people without UNRWA. So I think UNRWA, in a big picture, has absolutely saved and supported and improved a lot of lives with its provision of services, health, and food. That said, I am also critical of how, and I have talked to many Palestinians who think that, unfortunately, UNRWA has breeded kind of a culture of aid dependency. It has hindered a lot of progress and a lot of the space and creative opportunities for breaking out of being permanently reliant on UN aid. Furthermore, I'm critical of how UNRWA, there are numerous UN agencies that operate around the world, all with various talents and skills. But UNRWA, in a way, and I don't say this to like attack the good, wonderful people in UNRWA doing the work, but like a lot of Gazans call UNRWA the mafia, because they have a monopoly on a lot of UN operations. A lot of, like, part of the problems right now with the the aid distribution problems is that UNRWA, because they said, well, we have the logistical network in Gaza, so we should be the only ones that do the aid distribution for the UN, when they should have brought in the UN refugee agency, and the World Food Program should have mobilized its vast assets. So, like, I think in other ways, UNRWA are unhelpful. As for how penetrated, by Hamas, so it is absolutely a case, that case that Hamas has members and has affiliates and has people that are employees of UNRWA. Does that mean UNRWA itself is a Hamas organization? No, like, those are just simplistic reductionist views. Does UNRWA have an unenviable task of operating in a Hamas-dominated area? Absolutely. That is very true. So, like, multiple things are true. UNRWA is important. UNRWA is necessary. Long term, I think we need to move away from UNRWA, but I don't think doing that now under combat conditions or during one of the worst disasters that Palestinians have ever experienced is the move. And I think there are legitimate critiques of UNRWA being penetrated by Hamas, being ineffective, being, kind of like monopolizing and controlling the affairs, the humanitarian affairs, and all the UN affairs in Gaza. I think that's very detrimental. So it's important. And like I said, I literally went to UNRWA schools. We had a lot of lice. They were not pleasant schools. We had 60 students per class, but that is how I got my education. And that is actually the seeds for how I became good at speaking English, was at UNRWA schools. And I had excellent English teachers. So I'm grateful for that.